anyone who knows your value will reward you. Because if they know your value, the first thing they want is to make sure they don't lose you. For those of you who work for people, do you think your boss feels he's overpaying you or underpaying you? You say, but my salary is low. Yeah, but you're still overpaid because your contribution is nowhere near your salary. Just check yourself. Is your contribution to wherever you are equal to how much you are paid? If you admire somebody's grace or works, study them closely to find out the habits that they have developed and learn from them. Don't dismiss people's success and say, who do they think they are? It's all grace. You have grace too. It is hard work that produces the excellence. Some of you have great talent, great gifts, but you are lazy. You're not working hard, you're making excuses. You want to be paid above your excellence level. Nobody pays you to meet your need. Everybody pays you as a reward for your contribution. I've been working here for 20 years and look at me. This is the house I'm living in. How much has your contribution been? Because I can tell you this. I want to address a very important question about how we become people of excellence, or how we produce excellent result. Excellence, is it by grace or by works? It's a very fundamental question. Answer we give to this question will determine our approach to the whole concept of excellence. So let me first start by defining what I mean by grace and what I mean by works. So what is grace? And you can find many definitions from different theological points of view, but I'm going to give you my simplest definition of grace. It's a gift or favor from God to man. A gift or favor from God to man. So when we say something is of grace, it means it's a gift, and it means that it is a favor. It is something that you haven't worked for, something that you don't deserve, that has been made available to you. In the Bible, grace is an act of God, and He shows us grace to show us His love and to show us His power. So that is the definition of grace, a gift or favor from God to man. So what do I mean by works? Works is an effort of man to obtain something. An effort of man to obtain something. So when I ask excellence, is it grace, by grace, or by works? What I mean is excellence. Is it a gift or a favor from God, or it is something that is a product of our efforts? Is it something we make an effort to get, or is something that God gives to us by grace? If we say that excellence is favor or gift from God, then it will appear as if there's nothing we can do about it. God is the one who controls whether you're going to be excellent or not. And if we say that excellence is a result of our effort or works, then it will seem as if God has nothing to do with it. So one way or the other, it would lead us to some conclusion, either that this is just God, so don't do nothing about it, or this is you and God has nothing to do with it. So where do we place excellence? If we say that God wants us to be excellent, is it just something He gives us a gift for, or is something that we work hard for? And I'm going to take you through the scriptures to try and position this question properly. My first passage, my text would be from 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 7. And it's a very interesting verse. it says, "For who makes you differ from another? And what do you have that you did not receive? Now, if you did indeed receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it?" Very interesting. It's talking about things we have received and where they came from and what our attitudes should be. There are three concepts I want to bring to your attention as we explore this question. The first concept says that we differ from one another because of what we have received from God. For who makes you differ from one another? What do you have that you did not receive? We differ from one another because of what we have received from God. In other words, our difference is a gift from God. What he has blessed us with separates us from others. So if God gives me the gift of music, which I don't have, it will separate me from somebody who has a gift to calculate numbers, which also I don't have. So the gift of music separates the musician from the mathematician. And so our gift separates us. That's the first thing that I want to bring your attention to. We differ from one another because of what we have received from God, the gift that God has given to us. Second thing is that all that we have in life comes from what we have received from God. All that we have in life comes from what we have received from God. What do you have that you did not receive? Every achievement or height we get to in life is based on what we have received from God. Very important. All that we have in life comes from what we have received from God. What we've received from God makes a difference from us, and all that we have is based on what we have received from God. The third is that in consequence of this, we cannot boast of what we have as if we didn't receive it from God. So we can't be arrogant as if everything we have was just produced by us. So no effort of ours could have gotten us what we have if the Lord had not given it to us. That is what 1 Corinthians chapter 4 verse 7 is telling us. God has given us some things. It makes the difference between us. And no matter what we have achieved in life, he is the owner. Now, when you look at that passage, then it would seem as if really we have nothing to do with excellence. It is a gift from God, and we cannot boast about it. But is that all that we should be looking at? Well, I'll give you another perspective, and that is in Proverbs chapter 31 and verse 10. Now, you know that from Proverbs 31 from verse 10, it talks about what has been known as the virtuous woman, and gives qualities about the virtuous woman. But I'm not teaching or bringing your attention to this verse because I'm going to teach about women and how to be a virtuous wife and so on. But I'm just using this verse to explain something about excellence and how it is achieved. Now, Proverbs chapter 31 verse 10 says, "Who can find a virtuous wife? For her worth is far above rubies." Now look, the word virtuous, as it is used in this passage, means strong, capable, and efficient. Who can find a strong, capable, and efficient woman? This is a description of her quality, not her gift. A woman who is strong, I'm sure the men would also want to say they will join in and be virtuous husbands. Strong, capable, efficient. Then the passage says that her price is above rubies, or her worth is above rubies. So the question is, who can find her? Who can find her? When the passage says who can find, it doesn't mean that it is not possible to find. It means that it is rare. It is rare to find a person who is strong, capable, and efficient. They're not easy to come by. It's not easily seen. Now, I suppose that if God made people virtuous, then it should be easily seen. But here we say that this kind of person is not easy to find. It is rare because there's something that the person does that others do not do. And you'll find it, I will show it to you very soon. And the passage says that her value is more than money. A lot of us have value that can be readily matched to a certain monetary amount. But this kind of person has value beyond any amount. In other words, no matter how much you pay them, you still feel you have underpaid them. And there are other people that no matter how low you pay them, you feel you have overpaid them. So, for those of you who work for people, do you think your boss feels he's overpaying you or underpaying you? Not whether you feel you are being overpaid or underpaid, but do you think your boss thinks he's wasting money on you or getting value out of you? Now, if you work in a place and somebody pays you, and in the person's heart he thinks he's overpaying you, then your price is below rubies. Your price is below money. But if you're working in a place that the person says, listen, I wish I could pay you more because you do far more, but I don't have the money to pay you now, but what you do is far bigger than what I'm paying you, then your price is far above rubies. So where are you? Because, most people who work in places, whether you work for government or you work in a factory, you work somewhere, feel that they are underpaid because of their need. Just because you are broke doesn't mean you've been underpaid. But you have to see it from the employer's point of view. Does he think he's overpaying you or underpaying you? And most of you will be very shocked to find that the people you work for think they are overpaying you. Because your price is not above rubies, it is below rubies. And the reason is because you are not rare and you are not this kind of virtuous person who is strong, who is capable, who is efficient. Now, in verse 29 of Proverbs chapter 31, it tells us why her price is above rubies. She's above her pay grade. And it says, many daughters have done well, but you excel them all. This woman is described as a more excellent person. Is she excellent because of the grace of God or because of her works? Why does she excel? Why is she performing at a level beyond her salary, above rubies. It says, many have done well, but you excel them all. So excellence is actually higher than well done. And many of us are producing work that is below well done. Now, if you are below well done, you have to get to well done, then you have to get to excellent, then your price is above rubies. But if you are at well done, your price is at par with rubies. And if you are below well done, your price is below rubies. So for most of us, we are overpaid. You say, but my salary is low. Yeah, but you're still overpaid because your contribution is nowhere near your salary. Just check yourself. Is your contribution to wherever you are, equal to how much you are paid? Not how much rent you need to pay and how much electricity you have to pay, but your contribution. You go to the office late, you sit down the whole day, no contribution. You read newspapers, you made calls, you played games on the computer, on your cell phone, you WhatsApp people the whole day. Monday, Tuesday, you did the same thing. Wednesday, you did the same thing. Thursday, you did the same. Friday, you did the same thing. You stretch yourself. I'm tired. I'm going home for the weekend. Monday to Friday, your contribution has been WhatsApping. You've cost the company airtime, phone time, internet time. You've used chairs free of charge. You've used tables free of charge. You've walked in the office free of charge. You've used the toilet free of charge. And your contribution, zero. And yet, mercifully, you were paid something. And you think your employer is wicked. He's very kind because your price is below rubies. I know you don't like that, but I'm still going to say it. All right, okay. All right. So why is the Bible describing this woman as her price is above rubies? And if you read from verse 13 downwards, several verses. Verse 13 says, she seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. Verse 14, she's like the merchant ships. He brings her food from afar. Verse 15, she rises while it is yet night. Verse 16, she considers a field, buys it. From her profits, she plants a vineyard. Verse 18, her lamp does not go out by night. That is why she is a virtuous woman. And that is why her price is far above rubies. And that is why many have done well, but she excels them all. It's not simply because she loves God more, or because she worships more, or because she goes to church more, or reads the Bible more, but she wakes up whilst it is night. She buys one business and reinvests the money in another one, and she is working her merchants from afar. And the Bible calls her an excellent person. Pastor, you are spoiling my soup. I'm going to negotiate for salary increase now. I have to judge my productivity. Well, but that is what the Bible says. The reason she is above rubies is because of her work. It's not because of her beauty. So is it grace or works? Well, most of us are familiar with the parable of the talents. And I'm not going to read it, but the reference is in Matthew chapter 25 from verse 14 to 30. But most of you are familiar with it, so I'm not going to read it. You know the parable of the talents. Jesus told it. A man is going to travel, a master, calls 3 servants, gives them talents. One he gave 5, one he gave 2, the other he gave 1. Then he goes. He comes back. The one who has 5 has worked with it and doubled it to 10. The one who has 2 doubled it to 4. The one who has 1 reproduces the 1. And he thinks he's done a good job by saying, this is the assignment you gave me. Receive the assignment back. You know, it's like somebody, your boss is traveling. He says, listen, whilst I'm away, this is something we need to work in the office. So he gives you a note sheet. Number 1, make sure the internet is working. Number 2, make sure this is. Number 3, balance the account. Number 4, whatever. Gives you about 12 things to do in a paper. And gives it to you and say, why work on these things whilst I'm away. And then he goes away and he comes back and you take the paper he gave you and give it back to him. And say, sir, the thing you gave me is what I have given you. And you think that is hard work. And no wonder the master looked at that servant and said, you are wicked and unprofitable. So how many of you have received an assignment and gave it back to your boss? He traveled for 1 month. He came, the work is undone. The assignment is presented. Sir, you told me to do this. Take it back. So in the parable of the talent, the master represents God and he's a judge. But what does he judge? What does he judge? Does he judge their talent he gave them or what they did with the talent? So a few things you learn when you read that passage, take time to study it, is that God does not judge grace. He judges works. God does not judge grace. He judges works. The master did not judge them based on what he gave them. He judged them based on what they were supposed to do with what they have received. That's the first thing. Secondly, God does not reward grace. He rewards works. The master did not reward them because the 5 talent had 5 talent. He rewarded them because of the work they produced to produce 5 more talents. God does not reward grace. He rewards works. God gives us gifts, but work or works make us excellent. God gives us gifts, but works make us excellent. It is therefore not very accurate to see a person who is excellent and simply claim that it is the grace of God at work. And we all do it. We see somebody working so hard who has achieved so much and we say, oh, look at the grace of God. Yes, there is grace, but there is works as well. Is excellence a product of grace or of works? That's the question under discussion. To be or not to be, that is the question. I see it a lot these days in ministry. Young pastors see an excellent minister who has probably raised a very big ministry for the Lord. Then they go to him and ask him to pray for them for the grace on his life to be on them. Listen to me, pastors, wherever you are. And I have people who come to me, lay hands on me and impart the grace. And they think this building is grace. And the university is grace. And having a big church is grace. So somehow they think if I lay hands on you, big church will be transferred to them. There are people coveting people's mantles. And they think that if I can go to his ministry, sow a seed into his life, he prays for me, lays hands on me, and somehow grace will come on me. Because we see excellence as a product purely of grace with no works. There are people seeking the anointing that was on other people. I remember when Catherine Kuhlman, great woman of God, died. And people were wondering, where did her mantle fall? Who received the grace? Who received the anointing? And they're still wondering. The impartation, is it an impartation of grace or impartation of works? We will answer that pretty soon. Now, get me right, there is a need for prayer. I have had several people pray for me. Several men of God, seniors to me, have prayed for me. Mostly when they've prayed for me, I've asked them to pray for me that I will be obedient to God, that I will remain faithful to the Lord, that I would have wisdom to do the will of God. That's what I want them to pray for me. But I don't pray that the grace on them will fall on me. I have never sought to receive their grace because I can't. I can't receive it. It is their 5 talents. It's like the guy with the 1 talent going to say, 5 talents, sir. Can you give me your 5 talents because God gave me only 1? No, he gave you 1, but he expected you to use the 1. You don't go borrowing talents from other people. You use what God has given to you. You know, sometimes I think commonsensically we act like we are not thinking properly. Would a footballer become a better footballer because Ronaldo prayed for them? You know, it's like a young footballer who wants to be a good footballer and say, Ronaldo, lay hands on me. No, you don't go for Ronaldo to lay hands on you. You study the way he plays and learn from his works and reproduce his works. If you are a businessman, you don't go to Bill Gates and say, Mr. Gates, open windows for me. Oh, Lord, have me. That's a pun. But Mr. Gates cannot open any windows for you. But you can learn from Bill Gates, and you can learn his business practices, and you can learn from his works and produce results in your area. But his 5 talents would never become yours. You would only multiply what you have. If you admire somebody's grace or works, study them closely to find out the habits that they have developed and learn from them. Success is not imparted by the laying on of hands. The pattern in the Bible is that people learn from their leaders and then the leader lays hands on them later on. The laying on of hands is like their graduation. So Elisha follows Elijah for 20 years. And then at the end, he asks, what do you want? This is after 20 years education. If he started from class 1, 6 years to finish primary school, 3 years, SSS, that's 9 years, JSS, 3 years, 12 years, he's now finished SHS, 12 years. 4 years, first degree. 1 year, accelerated masters. 3 years, accelerated PhD. Then it is after 20 years that he now qualifies. Elijah didn't just say, oh, just get this hands laid on you and you will be like me. No, after 20 years. Joshua had been with Moses for 40 years. From the day they left Egypt, He had been studying Moses for 40 years, and after 40 years, Moses lays hands on him. And if you study about Joshua, he studied Moses like a textbook. When Moses went to the mountain, he was in the mountain waiting for him. He studied the guy. And he had what the Bible calls his spirit. In other words, he received the characteristics of Moses. And Moses says, you finish school, now graduate, lay hands. But what people want now is graduation before school. Because they believe that excellence is a grace. So people would travel and go to Bishop Oyedepo, lay hands on me, receive your mantle. Pastor Debo, lay hands on me, receive mantle. Go to some other person, lay hands on me, receive mantle. And they go mantleless and come back mantleless. Because folks, that's not how it works. That's not how it works. So there are people who are seeking to partake of the grace on the lives of successful people. But the reality is that what you want to partake of is of his ways that have produced the success. So I know the questions people will be asking, are you saying it is all works? That God's grace has nothing to do with this? So let me illustrate with an answer. Jesus tried to answer complex questions with parables. So let me give you my version of it. And many of you have seen it before. Probably you've done it before. It happens on school graduation days, especially primary schools and so on. A young girl is the highest performing student in the class. And she's tops mathematics, tops science, tops English, tops whatever subject they are studying, top. And people are clapping for her. Clap, 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 clap. Everybody's excited about what the girl has achieved. She receives the prize, shakes the hand of whoever gives her the prize, and then we see the girl would walk to where her parents are and give the prize to the parents. And then she gets another prize, and she takes the prize and gives it to the parents. And then finally they say, the overall best student for the class, Grace Amankwa. And she picks the prize and she gives it to the parents. I want you to watch what is happening. Did the parents go to the school? No. Did they sit an exam? No. Did they write the exam for her? No. So in actual fact, they didn't do any work. So why is the girl giving it to her? The parents, because they gave birth to her. And all that she asked and the school fees that they paid, although the parents did not do the work, what they gave to her was a gift, grace. She did the work and then goes back to the parents and say, I honor you with all that we have received. So that is how our work is. God gives us the grace. The 5 talents, the 2 talents, we work with it. And when we have achieved all that we have achieved, we take everything God has given to us and we say, really, we wrote the exam, but actually it is God who gave it to us, and we go and give him back. Is it works? Is it grace? Grace gives us the original gift. Work allows us to use the grace. And then in the end, we thank grace for giving us the gift in the first place. Because if we didn't have the gift, there would be nothing to work with and nothing to multiply. But you cannot say when she passed the mathematics, oh, that is grace. No, she's Grace Amankwa, but that was not grace. That is hard work. Learning all those theorems and learning all those algebras and all those geometries. And that is work. But she was doing it If the parents had not paid her fees, she wouldn't be in the school. If they hadn't brought her to the world, she wouldn't even be alive to study mathematics. And she recognizes the balance between grace and works. The Apostle Paul himself understood that, and this is how the Apostle Paul explains it. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verse 10. The Apostle Paul says, "But by the grace of God, I am what I am. And his grace toward me was not in vain. But I labored more abundantly than they all. Yet not I, but the grace of God which was with me." Interesting phraseology. First, grace is the source of all that we are. I am what I am by the grace of God. The source of our identity, the source of our gifts, even being able to wake up in the morning and breathe is God's grace. Without his grace, we have no beginning. But grace must not be rendered useless. He says his grace toward me was not in vain. The word vain was useless. His grace must not be in vain. It must not be empty. Grace becomes vain if we sit on it like the man with 1 talent. He made grace to be in vain. He sat on his talent, frustrated the grace of God. Grace must not be rendered useless. 3, grace requires us to labor abundantly. The more you receive the grace of God, the more hardworking you must be. Paul did not say the grace on his life was more than others. He said, I labored more than them. In other words, Paul is saying the reason why I planted more churches than everybody else is not because of the grace upon me, it was because of the labor. It was a hard work. He was not even there when Jesus was alive. He came later, but he did more than the earlier boys. Not because of grace, but because of labor. He said, I labored more abundantly than all of them. Whoever all of them is, he said, I labored more abundantly than all of them. So Paul is saying, yes, I am what I am by the grace of God, but I wouldn't be here without labor. And then finally Paul says, grace takes the credit. Grace makes us honor God for all of our success. He says, I labored more abundantly than they all, yet not I, but the grace of God which was with me. Like the schoolgirl, she labored more abundantly, she studied hard, but she recognizes without the grace I received from my parents, I wouldn't even have the opportunity to study hard. So, as a pastor in this Accra, Ghana, if I should ever, by whatever means of time travel or whatever, meet the Apostle Paul, what should I desire from him? Would I say, Paul, the great man of God, lay hands on me and impart your grace on me? Because since you left, nobody has received your mantle. I need it now. Or should I go to Paul and say, Paul, show me how you did it. How did you manage your life? When you woke up in the morning, what did you do? In the afternoon, what did you do? How do you manage stress? How do you manage when you were beaten? How did you manage to work so hard in the midst of so difficult an environment? Of the two, which one will make me more Paul-like? Yeah, the second one. The first one, he will lay hands on me and I will not get his 5 talents. I still have my 1 talent. But the second one, I can learn from him so that with my one talent, even if I don't do all that he did, I will do far better than what I am doing. Don't dismiss people's success and say, who do they think they are? It's all grace. You have grace too. Where is your works? It's all grace. You are boasting as if you are somebody. It's all grace. It's all by God's grace. Yes, it was God's grace that gave the gift originally. But it is hard work that produces the excellence. So, in conclusion, all I'm saying is, God has graced you. Some of you have great talent, great gifts, but you are lazy. I'll say to these people too. In conclusion, God has blessed you, he has graced you, he has gifted you, but you are lazy. No response. I'll go to the middle line. The problem is not a problem of lack of grace. It's lack of work. You're not working hard. You're making excuses. You want to be paid above your excellence level. Salaries are not to meet your needs. Nobody pays you to meet your need. Everybody pays you as a reward for your contribution. You say, I've been working here for 20 years, and look at me. This is the house I'm living in. How much has your contribution been? Because I can tell you this, anyone who knows your value will reward you. Because if they know your value, the first thing they want is to make sure they don't lose you. If they are paying you so that they lose you, because sometimes you pay people so you lose them. So they leave and go somewhere else. And labor commission will not give you problems for that. If they really think you are contributing and you are valuable, the first thing is they don't want to lose you. And one of the ways not to lose you is to make sure that you feel happy that you are contributing well. And anytime you complain, even before you complain, they will raise your salary. They will give you benefits. They will give you fringe benefits that you didn't ask for. When your boss starts giving you fringe benefits you didn't ask for, your price is above rubies. But when you see others having those benefits and you not having it, your price is below rubies. I know it hurts your pride. I know I've really wounded your pride today, and you may not like me after service today. You say, Pastor, you have the way you preached today, Pastor, today, I didn't check you at all. I didn't check you. But whether you check me or not, I am checking you. So, receive the grace of God, but work hard with the grace of God. Don't look for laying on of hands to move you forward. Look for hard work to make you excel above them all. God bless you.